Hey there everybody, this is Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV. Here's another contribution to our tabletop baseball library. You can find all our videos at C&D TV YouTube channel. If you're a committed classic APBA baseball card connoisseur and really enjoy that classic 70s look, you're exactly like me. And this is going to be an invaluable resource for all your replays. I'm loyal to the classic sets of the 70s from when I started rolling dice for the first time. I love actual replays. I know everybody isn't like me. I love going back in time, sitting behind home plate, and reliving that moment in time. When I look to replay a series and find I'm missing 3 or 4 relievers, or a starting position player, or several key players, what do? APBA back then was known for offering 20 card sets and some extra players, but usually you had to buy those separately. They came in packs of 4, 5, or 6 extras. And that's not always enough. When I'm faced with this challenge, I go directly to Steve's Card Maker. If I want to create a card for a replay, any card from 1903 to the present, a 2021 starting lineup using the actual stats, my son's high school baseball team, my grandson's little league team, I can do it using Steve's Card Maker and produce realistic looking classic APBA baseball cards based on actual stats. Remember, these are no longer produced. In the following video, I will show you how easy it is to build any team you can imagine. I will create 2 teams, and at the end of the video, I will explain how I rate the players for speed and fielding, play a couple of innings, and take any questions you may have. Let's look. What I want to show you today is Steve's APBA card computer, and the way I search for it is I write it in my Google search bar. I write in Steve's Card Maker, and it takes me to the link, and I just click on it. Takes me to the home page. This is the key page here, and let me do a couple of disclaimers quickly. Don't contact APBA about this page. In other words, it's totally separate from APBA, has nothing to do with APBA. Okay, so just, if you think, oh, I don't understand it, let me call APBA and try to get instructions. It's not going to help you, okay, because they don't know anything about this. They know about it. They don't support it. Okay. There's a link here to an email where you can get a hold of Steve. Also, please do not use this to replace cards that are available from APBA. So if they have the card already, go to APBA to get it. And finally, if you really value this, like the way I do, I try to donate every month or so. Every time I use it a few times, I'll donate. It's real easy to do. You click here, donate, and it's going to take you to your PayPal, and you can just write in 5, 10. Last time I think I donated 20 because I was using it a lot. If I use it a lot, I offer a little bit more. If I use it a little, I offer a little bit less. So those are the 3 things I wanted to just kind of mention before I start. So everything you're going to do is in the upper left-hand corner of the page, of the home page, I guess you could call it. And the other day I was playing a 1979 game between the Yankees and another team. I can't remember. It doesn't really matter who I was playing. I was looking at the lineups, and I was missing one of the starters for the Yankees, and that was Darryl Jones, right? So Darryl Jones, I looked to see if I could find him on another team in the 1979 classic APBA set. And he only had 47 at-bats, and he had only been with the Yankees that year, so I was kind of stuck if I wanted to play actual lineups. Why do I like to play actual lineups? Because I like the feeling of being transported to that time and place and sitting in the stands and watching these guys, duke it out on the baseball field. I'm not good at creating draft teams. There's no sense of structure for me when I create a draft team. Is Cano on team A or team B? Oh, I don't know. I put him on team A, but he could be on team B because I like all the players on team B too. I don't know. It's just complicated for me. So anyway, I just don't do it that often. I try to avoid it as much as possible. I'm not a big All-Star Game or Hall of Fame guy or any of those. I know a lot of you guys love that out there, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. If your brain can focus doing that, great. Mine has some struggles, so maybe I need to practice that a little bit more. Who knows? So I needed Darryl Jones. So let me go here. On the left, I'm going to scroll down. It's a little drop down. It's very simple to use. This is tremendously simple to use for you guys that are not computer familiar, or computer comfortable. But it's super easy to use. You don't have to mess around with all this data. I know you just saw all this data and you said, oh my God, I can't do that. Okay, forget all that. You're not going to do any of that. You're going to go to the year. You go to 1979. That's the player I needed. Oh, I just passed it. 79. Now I have all the 1979 players in this box. I'm going to go to scroll down, right? I'm using my mouse to scroll down to the J's because I'm using Darryl Jones. And, where is it? I went really fast. There he is, Darryl Jones. Boom, his card is there. I'm ready to roll. This is not the exact Darryl Jones card because no Darryl Jones card was ever made. Okay, so it's not the exact Darryl Jones card. It's a reasonable facsimile of a Darryl Jones card. And you just print the card and you're ready to play. Now, if I can also, if I want to print out more than one player, because let's say I want to play tonight's game between the Mets and the Cubs. I can do that, right? So what I'm going to do is I'll show you how to do that. And those APBA cards don't exist, not till next year. So I'm going to go to 2021. I'm going to look for, let's see real quick off the top. I printed out half the team already. I'm going to print out the other half now. Dom Smith. All right. So let's look for Dom Smith. I need him. And then I'm going to start printing out. Let's go to S's very quickly. And I'll show you a couple things that you can do. So this is what I'm going to do here. Dom Smith. Oh, went too fast. So you got to slow down a little bit. Dom Smith. There he is. So I'm going to add him to my page of printout page, right? I'm going to add him. You print out at the bottom this one card, but I need more cards than that because I got to print out the whole Cubs team. All right, so I'm going to print out the Cubs team. And let me quickly look at, let's see if I have the lineups for tonight's game. I don't think I do. So I'll get that in a little while. I will get the lineups for tonight's game in a little while. Let me go back and look at yesterday's game. And let's see, we are June. I'm using a baseball reference to look that up. Here it is. All right. So the box score for yesterday's game. These are the players I need for the Cubs. Joe Peterson. I need Joe Peterson. So I'm going to look for Peterson. And I'm going to scroll up. With a D, right? It's with a D. So it's up higher. Oh, I passed it. There he is. Jock Peterson. I think, did I call him Joe? Yeah, I can't see very well. Jock Peterson. And then it's going to be Chris Bryant played last night, but he was replaced by Wisdom. So I'm going to look for Wisdom because I don't think Bryant is going to play tonight. So I'm going to get Wisdom. Scroll all the way to the bottom. And where's Wisdom? Wisdom. There he is. Just past him. I think this is actually updated on a weekly or daily basis. Pretty amazing. So I'm going to add Wisdom. Who else? Baez. Even though he hurt his wrist yesterday, should be back in the lineup tonight. We'll see what happens. I'm not totally sure. But if I'm one player off, I'm one player off. So be it. Javi, I may play this online besides a little bit later. Javi Baez, I'm going to add that. Anthony Rizzo. Oh, Jesus. I scroll down real fast. Let's go to Rizzo. Oh, I want to go too fast. There he is, Anthony Rizzo. Add him. And I'll show you when I get to 9 how it works. Wilson Contreras, that's back up to the C's. Wilson Contreras, there he is. Add him. Ian Happ. Add him. Let's see, who else? Jason Hayward. Oh, it's with an E, that's why. I was looking. It's with an E. Let's see. H-E-Y. There he is, Jason Hayward. Let's see. It only fits 9 on a page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I don't know who tonight's starter is. Last night it was Mills, so we can do we can add Mills here. Alec Mills was the starter last night. I can play that game, but I'll find out the starter and then I'll just create a card for him. So now I'm going to this is how I do it. I just scroll down. Everything is going to be set up for us. Take a look at this. Everything's there. Look at that. All right, and they're 9 to a page, so it works out perfectly for me. So this is how I'm going to print out. I'm going to right click. First of all, before I go into printing those out, let me go in to show you how I can, let's say Alec Mills was known as, I don't know, as Heat, right? That was his nickname. All right, so let me go up here and let me write in his nickname, Heat. There he is, and now it comes out on the card, Alec Heat Mills. Look at that. Now let's say I want the advanced, let's say I play the Masters game and or I play the Merino boards. So I want the TBL grades. I click up here, right up here above the card, TBL. And look, now he is grade number 1. So not a very good pitcher. Probably has a very high ERA. Okay, and then he's got this other information. I don't play the advanced game, so I don't know that. So this is his hitting card. It's a 1-column hitting card. In other words, it's got 3 columns, but it's in 1 rather than 2 columns. But let's say I wanted to just have Yadier Molina has 2 columns, but I want all my cards to have 1 column. I also have a feature for that up here. Force 1 column. That would be his 1-column card right there. Okay. Excuse me, but I don't do that, so it doesn't really matter to me. All right, so now, so you can manipulate these cards. You can create. You want to create cards for your sons or your grandsons' little league team. You can do that, and you can roll dice with them and teach them how to play APBA. You know, if you want to create, if your nephew is having an all-star game and you want to create the players, get the data, or if your son is playing on a high school team and get the data, and you can pop it in here. You know, the hits and the at-bats, and you'll have a card, and the home runs, and it'll pump out a card for you. So I actually used History Maker Baseball to play my son's last playoff game in high school. So I have those cards, and that'll be a great memory, I feel, someday when he wants to, replay that. He can always do that. So that's about it. And so now let me get down to printing these out. So I'm going to print these out. I use 90 to 110 pound cardstock. 90 cuts really easy for my real inexpensive printer, my inexpensive cutter. So if you have a better cutter, you can do 110, which is a little bit tiny thick, a little thicker, not much. So basically, I'm going to right click. I'm going to print. I don't want to print all the pages. There may be another way of doing this, but this is how I do it. It's the fastest, easiest way for me to do it. So I don't want to print out this page or that page. So I want to only print this page. So I'm going to see that's page 3. So I'm going to go here to Pages, Custom, and I'm going to write in 3. And I believe I have this at 97 because if it's any bigger, it'll go to two pages. So I keep it at 97, and this prints out almost identical to the cards that you're using. You won't notice a difference. So I'm going to print this out, and that's about it. So thanks for watching. Any questions? Just reach out. Let me know on YouTube, and I will respond to you. Okay there, I promised I was going to show you some sample cards, and also I was going to help you decide on how to rate the players that you printed out for fielding and for speed. So what I'm going to do right now is show you some of the cards and how they look. And as you can see, I used the corner rounder, and I used that to round the edges. And here's the Cubs. Jock Peterson leading off with Anthony Rizzo batting second, Javi Baez batting third, Ian Happ cleanup batting sixth is Wisdom. Where is Wisdom? Did he get stuck in there? There he is, Patrick Wisdom batting sixth. Batting seventh is Ortega, the right fielder. Batting seventh is Sogard, the second baseman. The catcher Lobatone, ex-Met. He is batting eighth, and batting ninth is Robert Stock. So basically, this, I'm going to be a little bit loose with these ratings. They're not going to be absolute because they're based on my knowledge. So I'm going to leave Peterson. He's not going to be fast, or he's not going to be slow. He's an outfielder, so I'm just going to make him average. Rizzo also is going to be average. Baez is going to be fast. Baez is a fast guy, so he is definitely a fast player. So we'll make Baez fast. Ian Happ plays center field, so we're going to make him fast. Don't know that he is fast, but we're going to make him fast. Wisdom, we're going to just leave him the way he is. Ortega is a right fielder. We're going to leave him the way he is. Sogard, we're going to leave him the way he is. And Lobatone is the catcher, so he's slow. And we're going to make the pitcher slow as well. And that's it. So that's pretty simple. Now, I'm going to make this pitcher. Now, the Cubs have a good record. I think they're about 10 games over 500. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to give this pitcher a 2 rating versus a 1 rating. So I do that with the better the team. Of course, if it's a terrible team, I'm not going to give the fielders the benefit of the doubt. But I rated Jock Peterson a 2. Historically, I remember him as being a pretty good defensive second baseman, left fielder. The first baseman is a 5. I made Rizzo a 5. I mean, he's got a very good reputation. I believe he's won a couple of Gold Gloves, so we're going to keep him at a 5. Javi Baez, also known as El Mago, right? El Mago is his nickname, so he's going to get a 10 at shortstop, and he would get an 8 at second base, and he would get a 4 at third base. Ian Happ is going to be a 2 at center field. Hopefully he can catch the ball. He's a center fielder. I don't know that much about him, but I'm thinking if he can play infield and outfield, he's pretty good. He's a pretty good athlete, so he'll be able to play a decent center field. Patrick Wisdom is new to the league. I gave him a 4, again, mostly because the Cubs have a winning record. Ortega, I put him in there as a 1. He doesn't play very much. I don't know too much about him. As I learn more about him, maybe he'll be a 1 in this game, but maybe he could become a 2 in next game. As I learn more about him, then I will adjust his. Sogard I have not graded, but I will give him. He'll be an adept second baseman, so I'm going to give him a 7 at second base. And that's where he's playing today, at second base, so I will give him a 7. Lobatone has he's a veteran, so I'm not going to give him a 6. I'm going to give him a 7. I don't think he's a real good defensive catcher, but he's good enough, so he's going to get a 7. He's the one I probably rated the lowest, and of course the pitcher's going to be a 2. So that's pretty much how I did speed and how I did defensive ratings, okay? So it's a little bit, loose. Now, VR, I made a third baseman. He's a 4. He makes great plays out there. He's got a good arm. He's got an accurate arm. I see him every day. Lindor's a 9. I could have given him a 10, but I gave him a 9. Top fielding shortstop as well, definitely. Dominic Smith, he struggles in left field. He's a 1. Pete Alonso is pretty good first baseman. He's been making a lot of good scoops and a lot of diving plays. Not great range. He's not a 5, but definitely I believe he's a 4. McKinney I made into a 2 in outfield because he can play all outfield positions, left field, center field, and right field, and I've seen him make some nice running catches. Doesn't get beat on too many balls. Kevin Pillar is known as a defensive, and I didn't give anybody. I'm going to make Pillar fast. Now this is debatable, but he's a 2. Guillorme, I'm going to leave him just like that. I made him an 8. He's known as a defensive infielder. He's really has a solid glove. Nito's been playing great. He's been throwing guys out. He's been blocking balls. He's been playing outstanding. Again, the Mets have a winning record as well, so I'm always giving them the benefit of the doubt. And of course, Jacob deGrom, I'm going to make him a 2, although he strikes out most players, doesn't get a chance to field very much, but he will be a 2 pitcher. And, VR is going to get an F. I didn't give him his running rating. Lindor, super fast as well, so he will get an F. That's one thing the Mets definitely have this year. Dominic Smith, I'm not going to grade him an S, but Alonso will become an S. He is an S for sure, because I know I watch him every night. McKinney is going to stay the way he is. Pilar is super fast. Guillorme, I'm going to leave him the way he is. Nito's going to be slow. And DeGrom's going to be fast. DeGrom is definitely fast. He will be fast. All right, and that's it. So that's basically how I grade. In other words, the card computer cards won't come out with fielding grades. You could write them in and already print them out that way. I decided to do it by pen because I didn't want to spend a lot of time, adjusting all that. Even though it only takes a couple of seconds. All right, so I have my lineups here. It's these are the game that was played tonight. Today's, I guess, the 16th, right? June 16th, 21. I created these cards a few hours ago, and the game has been played. The Mets won it 6-3. DeGrom left after 3 innings, shoulder trouble. I'm going to play 3 innings of this game so you can see how nicely it plays. Right here are the positions, so I kind of highlight these so I can separate it from my first inning. I don't like it to look like a first inning, so I'll do that there. So it's Baez, Happ, Wisdom, Ortega, Sogard, Lobaton, and Stock. And then for the Mets, it's VR, Lindor, Smith, Alonso, McKinney, Pilar, Guillorme, Nito, and DeGrom. And I created all these a little while ago. So let's play. Okay, this is the first inning. This is the game that was played just a few hours ago. And I used Steve's card computer to print them out. Well, not to print them out, but to create them. And then I printed them out, and it's real easy to do. I just then cut them, and I rounded the edges, and they look just like your APBA card. And I can show you an actual APBA card. Hold on a second. Here's a classic APBA card. There you go, classic APBA card, and the one I created. A little bit different, a little bit smaller. Just because, and I'll tell you why it's a little bit smaller. Because I wanted them all to print out on 1 page, and I didn't want to print them out on 2 pages. Because you can only do 6 on a page if you want the same exact size as the APBA cards. But they will come out the same exact size as your regular APBA cards, okay? I just want you to know that. So I made these 97%, I believe, so they would all come out on 1 page, and I just had to use it one page. Let's start off. It's going to be Jock Peterson. Now, DeGrom struck out 8 of the 9 batters he faced. I don't know that that's going to happen here. Now, I wasn't able to find my latest book, my modern book, so that is going to affect the stats a little bit. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. This is the small booklet that I was talking to you about. I really love this booklet. It's just a spiral bound book, but it has all the information, and it's easy for me to handle. I really like this one. I actually bought a second one, and I have it in a box unopened in case. This one became damaged at one point, and it became kind of waterlogged because I was staying in, I was on vacation. And there was a refrigerator next to the desk where I was rolling, and at some point somehow the book fell between the desk and the refrigerator, and the refrigerator had a leak, so the book became waterlogged. But over time and playing it, it's kind of gotten back into shape pretty much. So I'm still using it. I still love it, and that's the book I use. As you can see, this is what it looks like in case you want to get one. I don't think they're making them anymore. I think these were about 10 years ago. Well, actually, about maybe 5 years ago. They were making them for about 6 or 7 years, and then I think they switched to a bigger chart book, and I don't like that one. So anyway, all right, so I have it. So this will allow me to do the Ks because I see that DeGrom has a K. And let me look where the K takes place. Let's see where I can find that K. Oh, Ks are on 27. Ks are on 29. Ks are on 30. Wow. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on all those Ks. I don't usually use guys with Ks. 34 has a K. So that's interesting. All right. So I'm going to try to keep now. I didn't add up the numbers. Let me do that for you. That's one thing you got to do with APBA. You got to add up the numbers. So I added up the defenses, and they both add up to 40. And that's about right. That's where you want to be approximately. And we'll see how it develops. Once one of the teams it goes beyond 10 games above 500, then they can start becoming 41s, and that'll help them, maintain that lead throughout the season. Now, I showed you the standard book, but I also use these charts. So today, just because I'm doing just a short 3-inning demonstration of how nicely these cards play when they're made from Steve's card computer, these are the boards that I use when I'm kind of, sitting back, relaxing, and doing the same thing. So, and I have a video on these. Look them up. They're the alternative boards. They're from a group called ABNRML. I have a whole video on explaining those boards and how to use them. All right, so let's get started here. Let's start rolling. Now, remember, this is a yellow dice shaker must channel. So if you're not using the yellow dice shaker, I don't want to know about it because I'm very committed to the yellow dice shakers. Now there's a couple of yellow dice shakers, and they're both acceptable. All right, this is really hardcore, and this is more modern version. Okay, but anything, if you try to roll dice with your hand when you play APBA, or if you try to throw them down the chute of a dice tower, that really is really unacceptable. Let me put it to you that way. Any self-respecting APBA enthusiast knows that you must hear this sound. You must have that sound when you play APBA. It has to annoy the household. It must annoy the household. Here goes. Let's roll. It's Jock Peterson. He's a lefty against Jacob deGrom. All right, that's a 23, and with APBA, of course, you read off of the batter, and that's a 12. And just for this replay, 12 under is going to be a ground out to the third baseman. And right there is VR, and he throws him out, one away. Next up, remember that deGrom here is an A and C pitcher, KY and a Z. So here's Anthony Rizzo. And that's a fly ball deep right field to the warning track, and right there is McKinney. Puts it away. And here's Javi Baez batting third. And that's bounced to the second baseman. Second baseman Guillorme picks it up, throws out Baez, and that's 3 up, 3 down for deGrom, just like in real life. Cubs, Mets. Okay, 3 up, 3 down for deGrom. Let's move to the bottom of the first inning. It's going to be VR leading off. And let's get the pitcher out here. Robert Stock. Now, I don't have to put the pitcher out. I can just write his data because you don't really use the pitcher's card. It's not like Stratomatic and a lot of other games where you need to look at the pitcher's card. Not here. You don't look at the pitcher's card. All right, so dice shaker. Let's do it. All right, here's VR. Here's a pitch. That's a 65. That's popped up. He's also a K, so I'm going to have to keep my eye on that. It's popped up. Foul territory behind the plate. Back goes Lobaton. Throws the mask away and makes the catch. 1 down. All right, Francisco Lindor. And that is a drive. Let's see if it goes for extra bases. And it is out of here. Home run. Francisco Lindor gets a hold of one, drives it. It's a line drive. Didn't know if it was going to make it over the wall. And it does. That's a 1-0 Mets lead, just like that. So as you can see, it was a 0, it was a 33, and then we rolled a 25, and that's a 1, that's a home run. So I love APBA. It's one of my favorite games. Played a ton as a kid. It's a classic game. designed in the 40s by Dick Seitz. And here is Dominic Smith. Here's a pitch from Robert Stock, a 64. That's a strikeout. So it's strikeout number 1 for Robert Stock. And Pete Alonso, another power hitter for the Mets. And that is bounced to the shortstop. Baez, he scoops it, throws over to first, and that retires the side. But the Mets pick up a run on the home run by Lindor, and it's 1-0. We go to the top of the second. So these are the cards that I just printed out a little while ago, and I promised I'd show you how they play. And let's see if we can find DeGrom. There he is. All right. DeGrom against Happ. Need DeGrom to pick up some strikeouts here. He should get some soon. All right. Here's a pitch. And that's a 56, and that should be a strikeout. A 34 is a Y. He does have a Y, so that is a strikeout. That's his first strikeout of the day. 1 down. And that's a 14. That's lifted to shallow left field. The 30 is a K, and that's a strikeout. Back-to-back Ks for Jacob deGrom. And here's Ortega. And that's 22. A 9 will be an out. That will be a pop-up to the left side. VR over, makes the catch. And that's 3 up, 3 down. Easy inning for deGrom. All right, we move to the bottom of the second inning. Robert Stock on the mound for the Chicago Cubs. And he's going to be facing Billy McKinney. And here's the pitch. It's a 62, and that's a fly ball right field. And that's a strikeout because he's also a K. So McKinney strikes out, 1 down. Kevin Pillar steps in the box. He bats from the right side. Here's a pitch, a 31, and that is a pop-up. Third baseman, Wisdom, 2 down. Luis Guillorme, 2 down, nobody on. Bottom of the second, 1-0 Mets. Home run by Lindor. And that's a 21, and that is a 36. And that's going to be a W. It's a walk because he has a W there, so it is a walk. Now, Robert Stock did not have any major league stats. So what did I do? I used his career stats. So that is a base on balls. And Guillorme walks, and here's Nito, Thomas Nito. Here's a pitch from Stock, and that's a 44. That's line base hit. And hustling over to third is Guillorme. So the Mets with 2 outs here have a little rally going. First and third. And up comes, there he is, Jacob deGrom. This is also his batting card. With APBA, you get the pitching card and the batting card. And he's batting over 400. So as you can see, he's got 7s everywhere. And 8s and 9s, and heck of a hitter. So, yep. So this is the guy you want up right now. He got another single. He went 1 for 1 with an RBI tonight in the game as well. So here's a pitch with first and third, 2 outs. Mets are up by 1. Jacob deGrom batting. He bats from the left side. Here's a pitch. Oh, snake eyes. That's going to take us to the second column. And that is going to be a single. That'll drive home a run. And stopping at second is Nito because he's slow, and all my slow guys automatically move 1 base. But an RBI for deGrom, and the crowd goes wild. Mets lead at 2-0. Here's the top of the order, Jonathan VR. And that's a 33, and that's a drive in the gap, and that's going to split the outfielders and roll to the wall. Nito's going to come around to score. And deGrom is fast. I got to check and see if a fast runner will score. There are 2 outs, so he will score. And the Mets have taken a 4-0 lead on a 2-out, 2-run RBI double by Jonathan VR. He drives in number 8 and 9. And the Mets lead it by a score of 4-0. All right, here's Francisco Lindor. He homered his first time up, the pitch, and that's a 31. That's a base on balls. So Stock is struggling to get out of this inning, and it's Dominic Smith. Out comes the manager. We'll be right back. Okay, so I went out to talk to Robert Stock, and because of the visit to the mound against Dominic Smith, we're going to move him up one grade to B grade. And because I didn't print out any relief pitchers, so I don't want to have to go and do that right now. I may have to do it if this keeps up, but he got 2 outs, but then gave up a walk, a single, double, and now another walk. So he's given up 4 runs. He's on the verge of getting pulled. So I want to try to avoid that. And that's a 33. That's going to be trouble. And that's going to... Oh, that's going to be a deep drive to right field. Back goes the right fielder who's out there. Ortega to the track, to the wall, and that's out of here. The Coca-Cola corner, a 3-run home run by Dominic Smith. And the crowd goes wild. Takes his time going around the bases. And he picks up 3 RBIs here, and that's going to be it. Well, we're gonna let Robert Stock go one more. Pete Alonso steps in the box. The score now is 7-0 Mets here in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and that's a 62. It's a 37, and a 37 is a walk, and that of course will push us over to the next column on the scorecard, and we must at this point bring in a relief pitcher. But again, I keep on thinking, man, if I can only get one more out, and maybe next inning will be an easy inning. That way I don't have to kind of make up another card. But I don't have a problem doing that. Doesn't take long. I just didn't want to stop and do it. So let's see. Let's face Billy McKinney here. Robert Stock versus McKinney. Here's the pitch, and 22. That's a drive in the gap, and Alonso's going to stop at third, and it's a double, another double. Splits the outfielder, played off the bottom of the wall by Hap. Hap gets it in quickly, and they're going to hold up Alonso, and yikes is all I could say. So looks like the Mets have their hitting shoes on today. And that squiggly line is what I do when I bring in a relief pitcher. And since I didn't bring it in there, so I'll be right back with a relief pitcher. Okay, so I'm back, and I printed out 3 relievers and see how easy it is in case a situation arises. But right now, I just want to get out of this inning. I can't get out of the bottom of the 2nd inning. The Mets have batted around already. They lead it 7-0, and they got 2nd and 3rd, and Pilar is coming up to bat. So let me bring in a guy named Keegan Thompson. He's an A pitcher, starter, reliever. And let me round the corners real quick here. I want to show you how easy it is to do that. There it is, and we're ready. So we got some cards thanks to Steve's card computer. So he will come in there, and we're going to write him in. So Stock is out, Thompson is in, and Thompson is an A with all whatever other YW. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see if we can finish this inning. Oh, here's a pitch to Billy McKinney. Billy McKinney, he just doubled. Billy McKinney just doubled, excuse me. He's on at second. It's Kevin Pilar. And that's a 34. That's a drive in the gap. After it is Hap, and he gets there, runs it down. Great catch by Ian Happ. I thought that was going to drop in. So the Mets pick up 6 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Yeah, 4 or 5 hits. So they pick up 6 runs on 5 hits, and they lead it 7-2. And here's a pitch. And that's a fly ball. Center field. That's a can of corn for Pilar. And a 31. I want to make sure that's not a K on there. No, there's no K. It's straight out. Straight up out. Here's Lobatone. Lobatone is an ex-Met, and also I remember him with, I think, the Rays. Here's the pitch, and that's a 66, and that's going to be the first hit off the Grom. And it's going to be a base hit, and that's going to roll to the wall. Lobatone is going to dig for second. He's in there with a 1-out double off the Grom. So Lobatone picks up a double, and here comes the pitcher, the relief pitcher. Where is he? Keegan Thompson, and he's going to bat. And that is a 31, which is going to be a crazy play. A 23 in APBA is like a rare play. So let's see what that's going to tell us, what that's going to be now. 23 on column 2. We agreed it's going to be runner out stealing. We're going to hold him up simply because we're down by 7 runs and it's unrealistic. So we're going to make that a foul ball. So it's a 53. This is a 21. Now this could be an error on the Mets. 21 is going to be a single to deep first base, runner to third. Well, runner is on second, and he goes to third on this. So it's a single for the pitcher, Thompson. And we're going to have first and third against DeGrom. So back-to-back hits, which is highly unusual, but it happens sometimes. Here's Jock Peterson. And that's going to be a fly ball left field. This may be a run for the Cubs with runners on first and third. Let's look at that part of the book. And first and second, first and third, and that's a 7. And it's going to be a fly out. It's fly out, 1 scores. Oh, X, strikeout. So DeGrom is not an X. He's a K, so he doesn't get the strikeout there. Let me see. That's a fly ball to left, 30. And an X, and he's not an X. He's a K. So unless I'm reading, let me look at the rule on that K. Let me find out what the deal is with that. Let me see. Hold on. Be right back. All right, so we're just going to play it as a sacrifice fly to left field. So a run will come in. It's 7-1. So they scored on DeGrom. No big deal. All right, and next up with 2 outs is Anthony Rizzo. Top of the third inning, it is 7-1 Mets. Here's the pitch to Rizzo, and that's a 46 at 29 with a runner on first. I believe is going to be a Y, and that should be a strikeout. And it is for DeGrom, so that's his 3rd strikeout of the game, and that retires the side. So 1 run on 2 hits. And we move to the bottom of the 3rd now. So this is going to be the last inning I'm going to play right now. I may finish this game online, but I'm going to go outside of this video to do it. And it's going to be Guillorme here in the bottom. And the way I do this, when we bat around, I kind of put the line there, and then I'll continue the inning, the bottom of the 3rd inning. That's a trick that I use. It's wrong. Okay, let's see if we can get the pitcher up here. Keegan Thompson, there he is. All right, so let's start it off. Guillorme against Keegan Thompson. Here's a pitch, and that's a 55, and an 8 is going to be some sort of an out. I'll say it's a fly out to center field because he is an A on that. So 1 down. Here's Thomas Nido. Steps in the box. He singled and scored a run in the 2nd inning. It's had a big 2nd inning. As you can see, they scored 6 runs. Here's a pitch, and that is ripped to short by his backhands. Throw to first, and in time, plenty of time. Out number 2. And now it's the bottom of the order. Jacob DeGrom is still in there, and he'll be batting. He singled and scored a run and drove in a run in the 2nd inning. Here's a pitch, and a 44. That's a drive, base hit, left center field. So DeGrom strokes a single. He's 2 for 2 today. And here's Jonathan Villar, switch hitter, bats from the Thompson is a righty, so he bats from the left side. And a 46 is a 13, strike 3, and that retires the side. So we just go like that. So the next inning, it'll be the bottom of the 4th, and everything's back to normal. I don't have to worry about adjusting anything or getting confused later. So that just is the way I do it, the way I handle that. So anyway, I played 3 innings like I promised with the cards I created. As you can see, it's giving you a fairly realistic game. and Mets really just rolled very, very well. They have their hitting shoes on today, that's for sure. They drove stock from the game quickly. DeGrom's still in there, and he's just kind of being himself pretty much. He did give up a couple of hits in the last inning. Let's see if he can get through this inning fairly easily. He's gonna, before I move on. So he's gonna face Javier. Let's see if he can get through this inning. He should be able to get through the inning. He is an A and a C pitcher. I mean, all right. So you let him face these 3 batters, and then I'll call it a night. 7-1, and it's Baez, Happ, and Wisdom. Here's a pitch, and that's a 23, which is a 12, and I think that's a ground ball to the third baseman. Up with it is VR, and VR throws out Happ. So 2 ground outs for Baez. And here comes Ian Happ. Ian Happ struck out in the second. Here's a pitch, and a 14. It's popped up. 30 is actually a strikeout, I believe. See, I'm learning. I'm not used to having guys with Ks, because I play a lot of 70s stuff, and in 70s, there are not many Ks around. I think, first of all, I think that's something modern, and that's a strikeout. So gets him with a slider down and away. Happ chases. And here's 2 outs, and here's Patrick Wisdom. Pitch from DeGrom, and a 23, and that is a ground ball, again, to third base. And that is out number 3. 3 up, 3 down, just like I thought. And we move to the bottom of the 4th. Well, that's it, guys, for the show, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation. It's a long video, but I think it's worth it. I think you should watch it in parts and play some APBA. APBA's a great game. It's a fun game. It's easy to play, and with a little imagination, you can bring it to life. And I'll see you soon. This is Tony Porter. Remember to like and subscribe, and it serves as an encouragement to do more stuff. You know, when you do that, when you watch it, it's always good to be positive about it, and also to subscribe as well. So when we do more stuff, if you like it, if you don't like it, you can find out about it, and you can decide to watch it or not. Take care.